Hello students. So students, in the previous class, in the chapter that is getting to know the plants, we were talking about the different parts of the plant. Till now students, we discussed about that of the roots, stems and the leaves. If we talk about the leaves students, so in the leaves students we have seen that leaves they used to perform several kinds of a function. And in this one, it also includes the process. The most important process that is performed by the leaves is the photosynthesis, right? It used to perform the process of photosynthesis, which plays a very important role in carrying the process, in carrying the life of the plant as well as of the living organism. You all are knowing that it is because of the process of photosynthesis we are able to receive food from the plant as well as oxygen. So we can say that the process of preparing food for the plant by the leaves is known as photosynthesis, and this process we can consider is a very important process. Second thing students that the leaves they used to perform is the process of transpiration. So they used to perform the process of a transpiration in which the excess amount of the water will be released from the leaves with the help of a very thin pores which is present on the upper surface or which is present on that of the leaf lamina that is known as the stomata. The removal of an excess amount of water from the stomata, that process is known as transpiration. So leaves they used to perform the two processes. First is the photosynthesis and the second one is the transpiration process. We have also gone through all the different kind of activities the students in which we discussed about the photosynthesis and that of the transpiration, how the process of transpiration occur, and or we can say how the process of the photosynthesis is performed by that of the leaves. So all of these we have discussed in the activity. If we talk about the function of the leaves students, so ultimately the first function it used to perform the process of photosynthesis. Second, it help in the process of transpiration. Third, it help in you can say that it help in the gaseous exchange also. In plants, the gaseous exchange take place through the leaves itself, taking off carbon dioxide and release of oxygen. That also happens in the with the help of the leaves, because this leaves consisting of a pore called stomata. The stomata is that minute pore which is present on the surface of the leaves. So this is the basic function of the leaves. Now, if we categorize the leaves into two different types, so we all are knowing that leaves basically divided into two, and the first is that of the reticulate and parallel. When we talk about the reticulate and parallel, so basically we can say that leaves are classified into two types on the basis of their venation. What is the venation, student? Arrangement of the veins on the leaf lamina, that is known as a venation. Okay, so we can write it arrangement of veins. The arrangement of the veins on that of the leaf lamina, that is known as the venation. From the name itself, the term you have understood the meaning of the venation, that is the arrangement of the veins over the leaf lamina. Now you see students, if we talk the two type of a venation that we will observe, that we used to observe on the surface of the leaf lamina, that is reticulate, and the second one is the parallel venation. Reticulate venation is that venation which is having a net-like a structure or net-like a design. Okay, so we can write the first one is of the reticulate. Reticulate venation. Okay. So reticulate venation, the first thing that we will write that it occurs on leaves as an irregular way. Irregular way. It means the veins which is present on that of the leaf lamina, it is not arranged properly, but it is spread over that of the leaf lamina as an irregular way. So we can write it occurs on the leaf as an irregular way, or the veins are arranged in an irregular way. Now, if it is arranged in an irregular manner, students, so this, because of this manner, it will help in giving a net-like a pattern. So we will say that the irregular and hence gives net design. So when you look at a reticulate leaf, students, you will find that it is a net-like a pattern, or it shows a net-like a design. Okay. So if we are saying, students, that in case of a reticulate venation, it gives out a net-like a pattern, that, or it will show a net-like a design. So how this design is formed in case of a reticulate venation? Let us try to understand this. So you see, students, basically what happened in case of a reticulate venation, if you see the venation in case of a reticulate venation, the veins, they used to spread out. Through that of the midrib, and then to all the parts of the leaf. So the veins is spread out through the midrib and spread to all the parts of the leaf. Parts of the leaf. Okay, so you see, student, if suppose we draw a diagram and try to understand, so if this is a leaf, so midrib is there, student. A midrib is started from the petiole and reaches to the tip of the leaf. From that of the midrib, a lot of veins they used to came out, and it is spread through all the different parts of the leaf. This is what it is explaining, that how the different veins which is coming out through that of the midrib, it is spread out. Now, when it came out from this leaf, this midrib, student, again it will be divided, it will get branched, and due to the branching, due to the further branching which occur between that of the veins, it will give it as a net-like a pattern or net-like a design. That is why we are saying that in case of a reticulate venation, the midrib is there, which started from the petiole to the tip, and from that of the midrib, a lot of a different kind of a waves. It came out and it is spread throughout the part of the other part of the leaf. And because of this spreading of that of the waves throughout the leaf, student, it gives it a net like design or pattern. So because of that only, students, we can say that it will give it as a net like a pattern or net like a design. Okay. So appearance is, why it is the net like a structure, why it appears as a net, because the midrib which is spread throughout the veins which is coming out through the midrib, it will spread all over to the different parts of the leaf and giving it an appearance of the net, and that is why we will say that this reticulate venation is actually a venation which will give a net like a structure. Okay, or net like a design will be seen in case of a reticulate venation. So there are a lot of leaves, students, which used to show the reticulate venation. Let us see which are the plants which used to show the reticulate. So you see tulsi is there, neem is there, lemon is there, students, marigold, mustard, marigold is there, mustard is there, China rose is there, students, coriander is there, coriander, China rose, coriander, then mango is also there, pulses, mango, pulses, etc. So you see, all these plants, they shows the reticulate type of a venation. So in all such cases, the leaves, there is a midrib. From that of the midrib, a vein came out. All these veins will spread throughout the different parts of the leaf, ultimately giving it a net-like an appearance or net-like a design. Okay. Now we will move forward and try to understand the another kind of a venation, and that is the parallel venation. We discussed about the reticulate venation, student. The name reticulate, it explains that the pattern in the venation in that of the reticulate venation is a net like a design. The second thing that we can see here is a parallel venation. So parallel venation is what, students? A venation in which in such kind of a venation, students, the veins, they are parallel to each other. They do not show a net like a structure, net like a design, but all the veins are parallel to each other. Okay, so we can write that here the veins of the leaf are parallel to one another. Parallel to one another to both the sides of the leaf. Okay, so veins of the leaf, they are parallel to one another and to both the side of the leaf. Such kind of a venation in which the veins are parallel to each other is known as the parallel venation. Previous one with student, we have seen that they show a net like a pattern or a net like a design. That is the reticulate venation. Here the veins are parallel to each other, so it is a parallel venation. Basically, you see, student, here, if you see the diagram, so in this one, if you see, this is the leaf. So here the leaves, all the veins, they started from the base of the leaves, and hence it goes parallel to that of the matrix. So we can write it. The veins started from the petiole and parallel to one another. Okay, so it does not spread out, but it is parallel to one another, and such kind of a venation is known as the reticulate venation students. Okay. Now, what are the different plants which shows this parallel venation? So there are a lot more which shows the parallel venation. Let us see some of the examples of the plants which shows the parallel venation, in which the veins are parallel to one another. So you see, maize is there, millet is there, wheat, okay, bamboo, sugarcane, is there, lily, barley, banana, barley, lily, banana. All of them are having what? They are having the parallel venation. So all such kind of a leaf where if you see all these plants, if you pluck a leaf from these plants, you will get that they are having a leaf in which the veins are parallel to each other. So this is an example of the parallel venation. Now you see, students, we had discussed here two things. Already we had discussed about the different types of the root, and there the different types of the root is on the basis of their structure. You see, when we were talking in case of a root, we discussed that basically the root is of a two type, that is tap and a fibrous root. When you look at the tap and the fibrous root, they differ from each other on the basis of their structure. Okay, in case of a tap root, there is the main root, and from that of the main root, small lateral roots comes out. If we talk about the fibrous root, so in case of a fibrous root, the same strand of fiber like a structure is coming through that of the root, that is known as a fibrous root. So one is the tap root, another is the fibrous root, and both of them differ from each other on the basis of their structure. Right? Now in case of a leaf also, students, venation if we see, so you see that it is also divided on the basis of their vein structure, parallel venation. So the structure or the pattern or the arrangement of the veins divides the leaf into two types, that is reticulate and parallel. Now there is a relationship between that of the roots and that of the leaves, and it is very important to understand it. That is the taproot parallel, the fibrous root, the reticulate, and that of the parallel venation are having relationship. So we can write it. There is the relationship between the type of venation and type of roots in plants. Venation and type of roots in the plant. Types of venation and types of a root in the plant. It is having, means root and that of the venation are having a relationship. What kind of a relationship, students? So the first thing, that if a leaf is having the reticulate venation, it will have a taproot. It means by looking at the leaves, students, you can say that what kind of a root it will have. So here, if a leaf is having reticulate venation, so the roots of that plant will be taproot. Okay, so if we are saying that a leaf is having the reticulate venation, so what kind of a root it will have? It will have a taproot. Okay, the second one is just opposite to the first one. That is, if a leaf is having parallel venation. If leaf is having parallel venation, then the plant will have fibrous root. It is very important, student. Most of the time this question has been asked to you. That is, what is the relationship between that of the venation and that of the different types of the plant root? So you will say that if suppose we will see a plant is there, and that plant, if you look at the leaf, and the leaf is actually the veins of the leaf, the arrangement of the veins on the leaf lamina is of reticulate venation, then we will understand that that particular plant will have the taproot. But if the plant is having the parallel venation on its leaf lamina, such kind of arrangement will be there, then we will understand that it will have a fibrous root. So taproot, it means reticulate venation, parallel venation, fibrous root. So you should remember always it, because the question is asked related to it. Reticulate venation, it means taproot. Parallel venation, it means fibrous root. It means if a plant is having fibrous root, so it will have the parallel venation. If it is having taproot, it will have a reticulate venation. Why we are writing it the reticulate venation first and then the parallel venation, students? Let me tell you. Because roots are basically present inside to that of the plants, so we can understand that it is the veins only, it is the leaves only by which we are able to understand the what kind of a root it will have. And leaves are visible to us, it is present above the ground, so it will be quite easy for us to see the veins, and then we can identify the type of the root it will have. So if it is having the reticulate venation, it will have taproot. If it is having the parallel venation, we will say it will have a fibrous root. Okay, so this is what, student, this is the relationship between that of the different types of venation and different types of the root in the plant. Different types of root is tap and that of the fibrous root. Now, by looking at the leaf itself, only by looking at the leaf, you are able to tell the kind of a root. So, such kind of a question asked many times regarding the relationship, regarding that if a plant is having a reticulate venation, what kind of a root it will have, or if a plant is having fibrous root, so what kind of a venation of the leaf will be there. So, such kind of a question will be asked either in the fill in the blank or in one word, or in a 3 marks question where it will ask about the relationship between that of types of venation of the plant and types of roots in the plant. Okay. Now let us try to understand the next part of the plant, students, and which is the very important part of the plant, and that is known as the flower. Okay. So the next is the flower. So we had discussed that what is the relationship between that of the veins, between that of the leaves, you can say, and that of the roots of the plant. So whenever the question is asked that write the relationship between that of the plants and the, you will always write that the relationship is one is reticulate venation, another is a pallar venation. If taproot is there, shows the reticulate venation. If pallar venation is showing, it means it is having the fibrous root. Now let us move to the next and a very important part, that is flower. Flower, student, as the name you see, it is a very important part. How you can say that it is a very important part of the plant? Since it is that part of the plant which is responsible for the formation of the fruits. Okay, that fruit consisting of the seed, and that seed is able to show the process of a growth or a formation of a new plants. So flower are responsible for the formation of the seed, or we can say it help in the formation of a new plant. Basically, when we talk about the flower, flower is divided into 4 different parts. Okay, let me show you with that of a flow chart, and then we will move forward. So, if we see the very important 4 parts of flower, so it is, first one is the sepals. Sepals. Second one is the petals. Sorry, stamens. And last one is the pistil or carpel. Okay. Sepals, petals, stamen and pistil or carpel. If we talk about the stamen, so stamen is what? It is the male reproductive part. And carpel or pistil is that of the female reproductive part. So the male and the female reproductive part is known as the stamen. For that of the male reproductive part, which is present in the flower, and pistil or carpel. Both of the things we can use for representing the female reproductive part of the flower. Okay. If we talk about the sepals and petals, students, so let me tell you about it, and we will discuss each and everything in a detail. So, sepals are basically, if you see the flower, student, there is a green part, and this green part used to cover the bud, used to cover the flower when it is at the bud stage. So we can say that green part of flower present at the base of flower. So the green part of the flower which is present at the base of the flower, that is known as the sepal. If we talk about the petals, students, so petals generally it is the colored part of the plant, part of the flower. So you see, student, whenever you look at the plant, the first thing that you get attracted towards the plant is that colored portion of the flower. Okay, it is the flower. We used to say that We like flower. It is of a different color, and it is very attractive to our eyes because of its color and fragrance. So we can say that this colored part of the flower, the different color of the flower, that colored portion of the flower is known as the petals. So sepals are the green part of the flower. The petals, they are the colored part, they are not the green part, they are the colored part of the flower. Stamen is the male reproductive part of the flower, and pistil or carpel is the female reproductive part of the flower. Later on in the next session, in the next class today, we will discuss that how the stamen is divided, and how the pistil or that of the carpel is divided into three, and what is the role during the process of fertilization. Okay.